Welcome back. It is time for us to continue our work on the Forge Around the World touch mark registry that Roy over at Christ-Centered Ironworks sent me. And of course, this originates with Yamez over at Island Metal Forge. I think last time I said Island Metal Works, really Island Metal Forge. So we have those straps for the back of the spine that go here. These hinges will have to be fit to the strap there. And then these are what will go on the front and back cover of the book. And we'll replace this, although I'll leave that page in there. Somebody might want to use it for something. I have another piece of copper that can be used for the front. And I'm going to leave this plain. I'm going to leave the back plain. And that way somebody else can use these to do something else with the book. Now, as with most forgings, there's always room for a little bit of cleanup, either file, grinder, or whatever it is you prefer to use. These shoulders can be evened out a little bit. There's a little wrinkle up there. It's a little bit sharp. I'd like to round that up some and maybe put a little bevel on these. So that is the place to start. Before I start cutting the knuckles, I want to do all of that work on all of the pieces for the hinges. With the bulk of the filing out of the way, now it is time to turn these pieces into working hinges. And this looks pretty much just like every other hinge we've ever made here on the channel. We'll cut 2 knuckles on one side, single knuckle on the other side, so it'll be a 3-part joint like this, and put a pin in it, and it should be a hinge. But work slowly and try to work carefully, and these will come out a little bit more accurate. I'm going to use the bandsaw for this because I'm more guaranteed to get a perfectly square cut. And I think it really matters on this project more than it would for a set of barn door hinges, for example. But with some practice, you can do it all with a hacksaw. And of course, our goal is to end up with the back part on the spine of the book, and then a hinge sticking straight out for the front cover and the back cover. And then when you open it, the whole thing is going to be able to lay flat. So this one's done. We just need to do one more. Running a drill bit through the eye helps ensure it's the exact size. It's real important that this is not up like this. It's got to be 90 degrees or even allow it to come down closed further. So I have to figure out where it's hanging up. It's like right in there. So a lot of people have asked me, how can I participate in this project? Really, it isn't my project. This is the brainchild of Yamez over at Island Metal Forge. I strongly suggest you check out his channel and go look to his video, which I'll link right up here, if you want more information. This is going to be a many-year project. I have a feeling it's going to take forever to get it to everybody that might like to have it. Hopefully, every blacksmith in the world that wants to contribute can somehow contribute. Probably not room for all those touch marks, but we'll see what happens. With the hinges all assembled, the next thing I want to do is just add a little forge texture to the spine and to the back of the book. The copper plate for the front I'm going to leave just as it is, so anybody that wants to do some repoussé work doesn't have to deal with some artificial texture that I've added. With that done, I want to fit some U-bolts to the spine of the book, and this is what will hold the pages and will hold the hinges. I'm using a little barrel nut. These are called Chicago screws, and that's what will hold this to the back along with a nut on the inside. If anybody else working on this book in the future has a better idea than this, feel free to retrofit it, although the hinges are going to be drilled to hold this barrel nut as the way that the hinges are primarily attached to the book. I went ahead and soaked all the hardware parts in acid for a few hours to take the zinc plating off. Then I just heat them up in the forge to blacken them and put a wax coating on, and that way they should match the hinges nicely. I'm just putting this together with machine screws for now, so somebody can take this off and ornament, repoussé, chisel, chase, whatever they want to do to this front cover. Then they can rivet it on when they're done. Well, this ended up being a lot more fiddly than I really thought it would. I've probably got 8 partial days in this. I don't work full days during the winter because it doesn't start to warm up till about 10, and it's starting to get cold again around 2, and it's after 2 now, so it's about time to go in and start editing this video. The biggest problem that I have run into here is that the screws on the inside here hit the U-bolt, the nut on the U-bolt that keeps it from being loose and floppy, which isn't a big deal in the long run because these can be flush rivets on the inside of the book when the book is finally assembled. But until then, these won't quite close. Once those are flush rivets, it'll close just fine. All in all, though, I really am happy with the way it came out, and I like the hinges. I like the way that looks on that copper cover. I may think about doing something like this in the future, not for a touch mark book, but maybe something you could use for photographs to take to craft shows or something like that. I think a book with iron hinges on it would be really cool, whether copper covered, iron covered, wood covered, even leather bound, but with the iron hinges, and maybe an iron hasp in the front, which is something somebody might want to add to this book. I consider my contribution to be the hinges and the concept that it works like a book. But if anybody in the future that is working on this project wants to replace the covers, replace the spine, chisel them, chase them, ornament them, decorate them, stamp them, whatever they want to do, those are blank canvases, and I don't really expect it to stay just like it looks today. The same thing goes for the U-bolts. Perhaps somebody can find a better solution to those. That was the best I could think of at the time. Something that actually opens and you don't have to take off would be nice. But with the barrel bolts, it's not that hard to unscrew those and take them back out again. I want to thank Yamez for being the one who thought of the project and the one that is going to oversee where it goes next. So once again, check out his video if you want to know how to get involved with the project. In the meantime, I hope you have time in your day to get out to your shop, make something, stay safe, wear your safety glasses. We'll see you for the next one. And yes, I added my touch mark to this.